Greetings, champions, and welcome to Live with Chatufa. The war in Mozambique is still on. It seems like the battle for the freedom of Mozambique continues. No one is giving up. Frelimo is telling themselves that they are not going anywhere, and Mozambican people also declaring that the battle is on and far from over. And we don't know what is going to be the outcome at the end of the day. But of course, when we look at what is happening on the ground, you can tell that Frelimo is already under so much pressure. And a lot really is going to be happening very, very soon. We are just watching the space to see how they are going to be surviving the pressure that is around them. So they continue to tell themselves that they can still hold on to power because they have wrong advices that come from especially Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, telling them that they should never give up because as long as they are in power, they can still use machinery and machinations to hold on to power. The Mozambicans block roads with abandoned vehicles as pressure mounts on Frelimo. And this is really becoming an issue. This is really becoming very, very disturbing, especially to the Frelimo government that is hoping to see the country running, the economy moving. But then when roads are blocked like that, how do they go about it? It's really going to be a tough time for them. Tough time like nobody's business. And we are seeing the unity. I always want to talk about the unity that is being displayed by the Mozambican people and how they are so organized in what they do. I'm telling you, this should be something that Zimbabwean people must also learn. We have quite a lot to learn from these people. We are also seeing the Frelimo government, just remaining quiet. They don't want to comment on what is happening. It's like they want to look to the side. Whoever has that character is Mnangagwa. We know Mnangagwa many times. He wants to ignore the very issues that are happening in the country. But that does not solve the problem. The problem needs to be addressed. Whatever is happening needs people to come together and see the way forward. So we've seen news trying to bring people to talk. You still remember the meeting that happened last time, but it did not amount to anything, which means SADC too, because of Mnangagwa, is ignored and looked to the side, ignored whatever is happening in Mozambique with the hope that it will go away. But it is still far from going away. From the way that we are looking at things happening, it's far from over. And I just hope and pray that the people of Mozambique will finally have their prayers answered and they will come out victorious at the end of the day. So the organization in Mozambique is really at a high-notch kind of organization where cars are being left abandoned on the streets, and then things, everything stops. Wilka Diaz says, Avenida de Mozambique, drivers abandon their vehicles on the first day of demonstrations, right? So you can see what is happening there on the video. So this really is making life very difficult, very, very difficult, especially for for Swapo, I mean for Frelimo, because what do you do to cars when they are left like that? What plan can you come up with really to solve that problem? You will need to end up engaging the citizens because there's no way that they can stop that. You can't find anything that can lift all those cars off the roads. And that's a demonstration that is powerful. And Mozambican people have indicated and shown that they really mean business when it comes to issues that are pertaining to their country. So SADC is still watching from far because of their chairman Mnangagwa being the cause agent of what we are seeing happening in Mozambique. It has caused confusion all over. We are seeing confusion in Namibia, and we are seeing confusion in Mozambique, with Mnangagwa being the center of all this confusion. This is why nothing is being done, and it seems like they are just quiet. And let's just watch and see how far these things are going to get to. But Mnangagwa really must mind his business, because he has too much, he has a lot already in Zimbabwe to really solve. In a collapsed economy, a collapsed currency, you know, problem of electricity in the country, the hunger, starvation, drought, poverty, quite a lot of stuff really that he needs to attend to. So for him to be wanting to spend time attending to issues in Malawi, in Mozambique, in Namibia, really it's a tall order. And from the look of things, of course, this really has compromised his very existence, since most of the nations now are quite well aware of who Mnangagwa is, and what he is capable of doing if he is allowed to intervene or interfere in the processes of other countries. Countries are going through their democratic process, and they must be allowed to have the voice of the people being heard. The voice of the people still remains fundamental, and no one has a right to want to tell Mozambican people who to vote, or to tell them which government must be in power, or Namibian people to want to dictate to them who should rule Namibia. SWAPO must never go, and blah blah, because you are friends and they support your illegitimacy. And that is where we continue to have problems in Southern African countries. We need really to have a working Southern African country of politicians that are principled, that stand for principles, that don't just politic. They don't under, that is not politics. When they want to, the kind of politics they want to tell us they are playing here, I don't know from which book they are taking their stupid politics of breaking even their own rules and regulations in SADC. And yet they want to still continue to meet and call themselves a working, regional board. That regional board, the moment they ignored the rules that Mnangagwa broke, they've ceased to be an organization. They are actually supposed never to be talking about themselves or gathering themselves ever again to want to talk about other issues. Because if you have just failed in one area where we have rules written in black and white, protocols that are broken by Zimbabwe through ZANU-PF, and then you can't act on it. So why do you still want to go on and gather to talk about any other issues like DRC or Mozambique or whatever? They've already lost their mandate, and that's what is happening. This is all owing to ZANU-PF. So let's continue, family, to stand in the gap and put pressure and pray for Zimbabwe and pray for these other nations that are also fighting for freedom. So this is what is happening, just updates of what is happening. Remain blessed till we meet again. Shalom and shalom.